It's like, yeah, I got a phone call. But anyways, yeah, America doesn't have the necessities for that big bully mentality anymore, man. They try to keep that because what? That's what they've been doing for so long. They've been having a bit of, oh well, we're bigger than you, we're better than you. You better do what we say. But other nations are like, man, listen, man, we don't need you no more. We got other countries that has the same resources from you. We got other countries, and they're starting to band together, and that's when you see scriptures like what Revelations come to pass. Obadiah, the people that was cool with you, they starting to get big over you, and they're going to be the ultimately ones who destroy you. You know,
Pulling our military protection? Like, what else are we going to threaten them with? His response?
right? See, it's our military protection. What else are we going to threaten? Because that's what America used for their threatening, man. That's why the scriptures call them the hammer. All right, how has the hammer of the whole earth been cut asunder? All right, because what the Lord is not using you no more, Esau. The Lord is not using you to be the whooping stick no more, man. He got one big hoorah for you, and then he's coming for you, and it's gonna be, and that's it. You know, you thought you had all the power, but you forgot your how about Shemel Shah. Give it to him who he will. The scripture says what, man? The earth is given unto the hands of the wicked, man. So all the power, all the glory and honor that you've been getting, it all came from the Lord because He was allowing it. But now you think you're going to be big and bad over the Lord, man. The Lord's going to show you fat meat ain't greasy.
A jaw dropper. The crown prince said he's done pleasing the United States, and he doesn't care what President Biden thinks of him. Done pleasing the United States.
Yeah, man, because these other nations, man, they're not with the ass kissing no more, man. They done with America's bullshit. The president of Saudi Arabia just said what? He said what, man? He's done pleasing America, man. These nations are getting tired.
The only reason that I can think of that you say something like this publicly in an interview in a newspaper is because you're already dating somebody else. And the Saudis are now fully engaged with China and Russia. This game is over for the United States. Now, for a few years now, Saudi Arabia has been moving away from the United States. Then candidate Biden said they need to be treated like they're a pariah, like the pariah they are. Remember this?
And I would make it very clear, we were not going to, in fact, sell more weapons to them. We were going to, in fact, make them pay the price and make them, in fact, the pariah that they are.
But then suddenly we needed cheap oil, and Biden flew over to the kingdom to kiss the ring of the crown prince. It was embarrassing. And then this moment happened. Reporters at that meeting yelled out, "Hey, Mr. President, is Saudi Arabia still a pariah?" Just watch the crown prince laugh about it during that question.
President Biden!
Because America's a joke,
is Saudi
man.
Arabia still a pariah? President Biden!
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, we've relied on them for their oil reserves, and they relied on us for our military protection. It's been a mutually beneficial relationship, but that's all changing now. They're starting to look beyond the United States for allies and are forging closer ties with countries like China and Russia. So what does this mean for the United States? Well, for starters, it means we're going to lose a boatload of money. Saudi Arabia is one of the world's largest oil producers, and we've been buying their oil for years. They start selling to China and Russia instead, and now we're going to have to pay more for our oil. Just sitting here in this port, watching the Saudi Arabian oil barges leave port and go out. It's an amazing sight to behold. So that's going to hit the American consumers very, very hard, as everything from gas prices to heating bills will go up. But it's not just oil prices that will be affected. Saudi Arabia is also a major investor in the United States. They own a lot of our debt, and they invest heavily in American companies. If they start pulling their money out of the United States, it's going to hurt our economy. It's already happening. Just look at the inflation numbers. Saudi Arabia is not only distancing itself from the United States, but also selling off its holdings of U.S. Treasury bonds, which is a...
Hey, and you know this is true, man, because what we've been in inflation for damn near 2-3 years, man. So that's how you know Saudi has been kind of backing out, man. And not just Saudi, all these other nations, man, been backing out, man. Been saying, man, we're not fucking with the U.S. dollar no more, man.
devastating blow to the U.S. economy. It's worth noting that Saudi Arabia has been the largest foreign holder of U.S. Treasury bonds for many years. So this is a significant shift in the global economy. Now, some might say, so what's a big deal? It's just one country selling off some bonds. What's the big deal here, Clayton? Well, let me explain. Because U.S. Treasury bonds are a critical source of funding for the United States government, and they are used to finance everything from Social Security, Medicare, military, infrastructure, everything. And when a country like Saudi Arabia sells off large amounts of these bonds, it puts downward pressure on the prices, which means that the United States government now has to pay higher interest rates to attract new buyers. This can increase the cost of borrowing for the U.S. government, which can in turn lead to higher taxes, inflation, even a massive recession, which we are facing right now. And right now, China, Russia, and Saudi Arabia are dumping massive amounts of U.S. debt. If they won't finance our massive debt, then who will? Who's going to step in? Who has money? So why this week? Why did all of this happen now? Because follow the money. The US dollar is dying, and America's power is dying. China's new partnership with Russia has grown even further. China mediated a new era of peace between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Just look at these guys, shaking every hand they have in one big Chinese noodle salad. I don't see Biden's hand in there between Iran and China and Saudi Arabia. The U.S. has been trying to create havoc between these countries, but they're not having it. In fact, exports of oil and precious minerals have dramatically shifted away from the United States to one another, to these new partnerships. The United States has been using its control over the dollar.
See, man, you can't make this stuff up, man. You cannot make this shit up. You know? This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Right, man. Esau's what? Bullshit, man. You know, it's all being brought to light. All right. And these other nations, man, they're not fucking with it no more, man. That's why they were drawing back, man, and they're starting to do their own thing. Verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy, which is basically what? In league or partnership, have brought thee even to the borders. The men that were at peace with thee had deceived thee and prevailed against thee. Right, man? That's these other nations. We see it. We see this prophecy happening in our very eyes. The people that have peace, Saudi Arabia, China, Russia, the people that we trade with, what? They're saying, man, fuck America, man. We on our own shit. And they're gonna be ones who's gonna lay this place to waste. It says, deceiving thee and prevailing against thee. They that eat thy bread have lain a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, say the Lord, even destroy the wise men of Edom and understanding out of the Mount Esau? Right, man. So the Lord, that's what all the reason why these nations are doing what they're doing is all in control of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. It's all the hand of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man. All right. He's controlling it all, man. He's putting hooks in what Russia and China and these other nations' jaws to pull them back from you. He doesn't want you to get cool with them. That's why he took Trump out of office. He don't want Russia to be cool with America, man. Cause what's his name? Putin actually liked Trump. Putin and Trump was actually friends. They actually were cool, you know. But the Lord said, no, man. He didn't want that. He didn't want two leaderships to be on one apart, man, on one accord. He wanted them to be on par with each other, man. He wanted to draw them away from each other, you know. So the Lord is what? Using these men, using these nations that's gonna ultimately destroy you. All right. And it says, and the mighty men of Teman shall be dismayed, and the ends of every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Right, man. And then eventually you're gonna be cut off by slaughter. All right, after you serve your 1,000 years. This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. It says, "And these things I saw another angel I come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, it is fallen, and become the habitations of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunken of the wine of the wrath of the fornication, and the king of the earth have committed fornication with her. And merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her dainties, her delect, her delected, her deli, del, Slocky, hold on, let me just read it over. It says, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delectades. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached into the heavens, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she had filled to her double, right, man? And that's exactly what's happened to that's exactly what's happening to America, man. All right, her plagues is coming, so the Lord is gonna what? Eventually raise up Yahweh Shai to come and deliver his people up out of this place, because what's in store for America is not pretty. Because eventually them nations are gonna get, right now they're withdrawing, they're backing out, and then they're eventually gonna get mad. Then they're gonna get mad, and then they're gonna declare war, and then they're gonna shoot missiles, because they also have the missile power that America has, man. We seen the dude saying what? He said what? America was trying to threaten Saudi Arabia by what? Their military power? But what? America doesn't have that same brute force military power anymore, man. They became weak. What did Bane say in Batman? He said what? Victory has defeated you. You know, you've won so much, you don't know how it feels to lose. You've been on this high horse winning, that it's made you weak. It's made you soft. It says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, I sit as a queen and no widow. It says, and shall see no sorrow, right, man? So America think it's untouchable. America really is on this high, proud, arrogant, high horse, man. You know? But the Lord says, oh, no way, man. Americans even came to call himself God. You know, the elites think themselves to be gods. But the Lord said, what? You're not gods. And I'm going to prove, when I want to come back, I'm going to prove that you're men, that you're nothing but man. All right? Verse 8, it says, therefore her plagues shall come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judged her. And the kings, it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, that they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off from the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgment come. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, right, man? Because America is one big consumer, right? All right. What did it just say? What for military protection from Saudi Arabia? Well, they'll give us oil. All right. So we don't have nothing to really exchange anymore, man. Our dollar is worth nothing, you know. So because what, America doesn't have nothing to trade for, or America doesn't have anything of value, what, the nations are gonna be like, man, you're no good to us. All right. But America's one big consumer. We consume everything. There's really nothing made in America, you know. And the things that were made in America, what we all businesses went to other countries, you know, like Nike. Most shoes made in Nike is what, in Indonesia and in China and in Thailand, you know, and then get ships over here. That was pretty much it today. Let me go back to this.
To weaponize its economic power, using sanctions against China, Iran, and Russia, trying to pressure other countries.
Let me back up a little bit.
And China and Saudi Arabia. The U.S. has been trying to create havoc between these countries, but they're not having it. In fact, exports of oil and precious minerals have dramatically shifted away from the United States to one another, to these new partnerships. The United States has been using its control over the dollar to weaponize its economic power, using sanctions against China, Iran, and Russia, trying to pressure other countries to comply with its foreign policy goals. The sanctions show just how desperate the United States is to try and replace dependence on Russia and China for all of our minerals and our manufacturing. We are sitting on mountains of uranium, lithium, gold, oil, and yet we don't have the infrastructure to pull it out of the ground. Last week, the head of the European Union Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, admitted the truth about our reliance on China and Russia for minerals and resources. It was a pretty big admission moment. Listen.
We know this is an era where we rely on one single supplier, China, for 98% of our rare earth supply, 93% of our magnesium, 97% of our lithium, just to name a few.
And literally on the same day that she made that statement, Ford Motor Company admitted it's spending billions to team up with China to mine minerals for its electric cars.
Damn.
This is how bad it's gotten, guys. The New World Order unfolding right before our eyes. The United States loves to try sanctions first, and if those don't work, they go to war next.
See, they go to war next, man. It's just on the brink, man. It's right there, man. We're literally knocking at the door of this place literally going down, man. And you still got people, putting into their 401ks, people sending their kids off to college, people saving, trying to buy a house, thinking about the future, like, oh yeah, when my daughter gets in school, this and that, and all that shit's gonna be in the dust. All right, it's gonna be done away with, and I can't wait to see it happen. All right, so Lord willing, hopefully this video was edified for you brothers out there. Until next time, I'll say shalom.